you were playing massive arenas and stadiums, and Axel, not the these it was crazy times. So, and plus, you were addicted at that time too, right? Were you and
Yeah,
at
I was
that time?
kind of
So
like, by the time we did that tour, it was like a really big tour for us. We were putting out like maybe our third record or something.
right.
And our second record, or I guess that was our one, two, yeah, our second record did really well. And people started to pay attention to it. And we got offers from like crazy people. Like we toured with Billy Idol. And we toured with like offers came in to like, to open up for the Guns N' the Roses and Metallica, which was honestly the biggest tour that had ever happened that anyone ever heard of.
Yeah.
And it was like such a circus, and it seemed like a great idea at the time. Like, yes, of course. Like, who would not do that? And yeah, we jumped onto that tour, and it was a circus. It was like mayhem, and it was kind of not where we belonged. It brought a lot of attention to us, not in the greatest way though. I remember there was a way in which you could watch, you know, like records being sold from city to city, and we would play a show, say in Philadelphia or wherever it was, and we could watch like the record sales, and like it wasn't really working. Like people would go and see us, and we were playing to big crowds, but like people weren't really buying the record. Like I don't think there was an overlap of fans. Maybe there was at the end of the day, but it didn't seem like it was working. And to our in our defense too, we were not in our defense, but like shame on us. We were very bratty in our presentation, and we were just kind of fucking with everyone all the time. We were talking shit about the bands, and we got in a lot of trouble on the tour, and just sort of our attitudes should have been in check, and they weren't. We were kind of like shitty kids opening up that circus, and it was kind of like just an opportunity to make fun of the system at that point, because it was really a funny, you know, spectrum rock and roll in that way. Like there was a lot to poke fun at. Like Guns N' Roses had just come out with this record, their second record, and I remember like their first sort of like One in a Million, that song had, they used the F word in it and they used the N word in it, and it was just like so offensive. And we as kids, like I couldn't help, like, and as a gay person too, I couldn't help but sort of poke fun at that and like criticize what they were. And but it was complicated because there we were like opening up for that band. It's like, why would we have that attitude? Why would we do that tour if, you know, if that was the case and we were looking down on it? But it was complicated.
Was there ever any talk about not doing it? You knew this about the bands. You knew enough about the bands in advance, but would you ever have
Kind of,
passed it?
we honestly, Holly, we didn't know enough about the bands in advance. We kind of like, just at the time, like that first Guns N' Roses record had come out. But if you look at that, like that first Guns N' Roses record, like there's an insert in it, and there's this graffiti sort of artwork,
Yeah.
and there's like a graffitied wall, and it's sort of a, I don't know, it's kind of like a drawing, but there's like a schoolgirl, I remember, like in the drawing somehow, and she's like, her panties are like pulled down to her ankles, and it's as if she's been raped. That's sort of the vibe. Maybe I'm making that up. Does
No,
that sound familiar to you guys?
that was originally
I
going to
mean,
be the album cover,
right.
but because of the
That
controversy, they
is
put it in the insert.
insane. That
Yeah,
is crazy. Like that was the look. So I mean, yeah, we knew what they were about, kind of based on that, but it just felt like at the time it was like it was something you couldn't say no to. Like, oh yeah, and Guns N' Roses were just everything. And it felt almost kind of like a postmodern sort of like joke, like, oh, a band like us on tour with it. And we did love Metallica were really
Yeah.
awesome. I love that band. I still love Metallica. And that felt like we were kind of friendly with them, and that felt like a no-brainer. But the addition of like the Guns N' the Roses in the mix was really challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
was that you? It was early '90s. That's when you came out as well. Was that anything that led to that? Like going on a tour like that? Like I need to identify. I need to come out of the closet. Is that
Yeah, for sure. That's
something?
exactly what happened, Dave.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I mean, we were exposed to so many, like, so much debauchery and so much, like, toxic, male, aggressive, really just ugly stuff that happened, like, backstage, and, like, how they would carry themselves, and the sort of misogynistic vibe that was happening everywhere in that mix was so pervasive. And especially to me as a gay person, and I hadn't talked about being gay in the press, and at some point, it just became this thing, and it became important for me to differentiate myself from that world. Didn't want to be associated with that, so it felt like a wise thing to sort of declare in that place and time to say that I'm gay and I'm not this. That felt important.